Hi guys, welcome to Bookmas, whatever day we're on right now. Today's video is a very exciting one because I've seen this video circulating around and I just knew that I had to hop on this trend. I'm assuming you read the title and saw the thumbnail, so by now you know what it is. But I always love TBR videos. I think they're so fun, they're so exciting. I always watch other people when they post them because it just gets me like really excited, and it makes me see book recommendations of books that maybe I haven't heard of so that I can just add them to my never-ending TBR. One of the main reasons why I like watching specifically TBR videos instead of like maybe book rec videos, even though I do watch those still, is because I feel like sometimes people don't realize it when they're spoiling stuff or when they say too much. But when it comes to TBR videos, they haven't read it, I haven't read it, so it's like impossible for anyone to spoil anything. So that is why I prefer watching those. But for today's video, I figured I would do the little challenge 10 before the end, I think it's called, where it's basically books that you have on your TBR that you're hoping to get through from now until the end of the year. Obviously the last like few months of the year have just like zoomed by. It's like literally beyond me how fast time has going recently. But all that aside, I did pick out a massive stack of books that I have here of just books that I am hoping to get through. Am I realistically gonna read all of these? Probably not. It is a TBR, and like me and TBRs, like, you know, they're just like a suggestion. Do I actually 100% of the time stick to the TBR? Not really, especially me because I'm a mood reader. So if I don't feel like reading any of the ones on the TBR, like I just won't. But I think these are really good reads for it being this time of the year with it getting gloomy and dark earlier. These are like such fun, cozy little reads. And also some of these are reads that a lot of people have read and rated really highly. Some of these are super popular series that I somehow have just like not gotten around to reading yet. I just like anticipate them being 5-star reads because I've just seen how much other people love them. So I'm very excited. So without further ado, let's get into it. The first book that I have here that I'm hoping to read by the end of the year is none other than ACOTAR. I know, guys, I know everybody has read this, but to my defense, I wasn't part of book talk when this book became popular, and then I felt like I was like way too late to the party. But now like I still see people raving about this and it just feels like a rite of passage. It feels like I need to read this. It's also kind of like a book talk crime to not have read anything by Sarah J. Maas. She's such a big popular author. Everybody always loves all of her books pretty much. So it's gonna be either this or Throne of Glass. I haven't decided which series I'm gonna dive into first. I keep getting recommendations for both. I think most people like both, but I think out of all those people that I've seen reviews of, I think they tend to prefer the Throne of Glass series. If you read either of these or both of these, let me know which one you think I should start with, because obviously they're both kind of overwhelming. Like there's 5 or 6 books I think in this one. There's like 4 or 5 books in this one, and I just don't really know where to start. It just seems like a whole lot of effort. So let me know which one I need to start with. I love that this is matching my outfit, low-key. Is this a sign? What do we think? Maybe one of these or maybe both of these are gonna be on my TBR. If I'm able to get through both of these, that would be cool. But I feel like if I read one, I'm gonna literally get sucked into the series, and then instead of just starting another series right after it, I feel like I'm just gonna wanna binge the entire rest of the series, if that makes sense. So we'll see which one I get to first. Another book that I really want to read is Love in Other Words. This is another one that I've just heard nothing but amazing things, and this has been on my bookshelf for the longest time. I found this at a thrift store like probably like 7 months ago, and I have been meaning to start it. It just seems like so sweet. I actually started reading this like the first, honestly, a chapter, and I just knew this would be like an emotional read, and I think I wasn't in the right headspace for an emotional read like last spring when I started reading this, and I think that's why I soft DNF'd it. This is definitely a book that's gonna like pull on my heartstrings. I think I'm definitely gonna bawl my eyes out reading this, but I really need to finally get to it. Like it just looks so cute. Also the cover, I'm obsessed with it, and yeah, definitely need to get into this. The next book that I have here is Heartless by Elsie Silver. I read Flawless and absolutely loved it, and I have this, and I already bought the next book of the series because I just know I'm gonna love it. I love small town. This is also like a single dad and like nanny trope, I think, and I eat those up every single time. Also, I keep hearing that this is arguably people's favorite book of the series, and I think that's why it's like a little bit intimidating going into a book that so many people have loved, because I'm like, I don't know, am I prepared? I don't know how to explain it, but like the anticipation of it is making me like nervous to read it, if that makes sense. But I definitely need to get back into this world. Also, I actually love the detailing on this. Like, are you joking? And I already bought Wild Love, so it's time to get to reading. Another book that I have here is Binding 13. It's like a college sports romance, which again is just giving such winter vibes for me. From my understanding, this also has a couple like maybe like darker themes. I could be wrong because again I haven't read it, but once again this is another one of the series that everybody always rates 5 stars, and I need to get on it. I think the last month of 2024 I just need to catch up with certain books that I somehow completely missed when they were getting hyped up, because either I wasn't like back into reading yet or because life gets like super busy. But like a lot of these books are books that I should have read years ago. Like, what am I doing? So I think this is me just trying to play catch up at this point, instead of just finding random books on Kindle Unlimited and just like binging these like random series. I need to get back and read these like almost like, not like classics, obviously they're not classics, but it seems like the book talk essentials. Like, as a book talker and a booktuber, it feels like a crime that I haven't read some of these super popular series. Like, I need to get on it. So I think that is why so many of these are on here. Next up, I need to read Caraval. My sister has read this series and she says this is like her favorite book of all time. I think I'm kind of like intimidated to get into this because it's more like fantasy, and I've never really read a fantasy before. I've always read a lot of like contemporary romances, I've read some dark romance, I've read thrillers and mysteries, and I eat all those up. But fantasy is just like one of those like little genres that I haven't completely gone into, and I think that's why I'm a little bit like intimidated. But I did promise my sister that I would read this since it's like her favorite book. It just seems like it's only fair. And then if I end up liking this, she also has the entire series pretty much. Another reason why I really want to read this is because I've heard amazing things about the follow-up series, but everyone is saying that there is spoilers from Caraval in the second series, so if I'm ever gonna read it, like, it has to be now. And I'm very excited to read the follow-up series, but this just seems like required reading in order to get into the world and understand the world, understand the politics, understand her writing and the characters, because from my understanding they do make guest appearances in her other series. So I'll be reading this soon. And lastly, probably one of my most anticipated reads, one of the ones that really hurts me, the fact that I haven't read it yet. Well, again, for the same reasons as a lot of the other ones. I know, don't hate me, okay? I think this is a month that I'm kind of like committing to getting into fantasy. I feel like I need to read this as soon as possible. Like, she keeps releasing these books so quickly. Like, there's already 3 books out and I just feel behind. This book also kind of intimidates me because it's like freaking 500 pages, and I feel like the text is kind of like super small, and I'm just like scared to once again dive into a whole new world. I think I'm like worried that I might not like it because I haven't read fantasy, which is like literally like so silly because everybody loves this. But yes, please forgive me. I know it's crazy that I literally have not read these yet. It's wild, but this is definitely on my list. And that's all the ones that I have the physical copies of, but I do have a lot of other books that are on my Kindle, don't you worry. I'm a big Kindle reader, actually. I read most of my books on here. Another series that I really want to continue and finish is the Natural series. I'm currently on book 2 as I'm filming this video, and I just want to binge the entire series. It's so good. I love everything that's like mystery, Criminal Minds. So this is gonna be probably one of my most highly rated series probably of the year. I'm just like obsessed with it. So that's definitely gonna be some of the books that I'm reading by the end of the year. While we're on the topic of YA mysteries, I also really want to continue The Good Girl's Guide to Murder because I read the first one and literally ate it up. I read it so fast. So I'm just kind of like dying to get back into the world and get back into the series and continue reading it because I absolutely love how everything is in that book. Like the pacing, the way you discover information at the same time that the main character discovers information, the way that there's like so many cool visual aspects to the book. Like, it's not just text, but it has like little printouts of evidence, and it has maps, and it has like all this like cool stuff in different kind of like formats in the book. So that's like always really fun to read. Okay, also another series that's kind of on my radar that I want to get into, only to figure out if I even want to read it. I feel like a lot of these I would love based on the things that I've heard about them, but the one that I'm sure of is the Zodiac Academy. That has just the most conflicted opinions that I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, there's booktubers and influencers and book talkers that I watch and I trust their judgment, and like half of them will read it, they eat it up, they love it, it's the best series ever, they're obsessed with it. They would literally like read the entire series, which is like massive, in a span of a week and never shut up about it. And then there's all these other book talkers and booktubers that I watch and trust their opinion as well, and they read it and they absolutely hate it. They say it's boring, they say it's just kind of like not worth the hype. So I am so freaking conflicted. So I got the first book on my Kindle and I really want to kind of like dive into the story and just get a feel for it myself, because I'm just so curious. What side am I gonna end up on? Am I gonna love it, or am I gonna absolutely hate it? Because nobody's like in the middle. Like nobody is like, it's pretty good. Everybody either absolutely loves it, gets tattoos about it, like obsessed with it, mentions it in every single recommendations video or what, and then there's people that just like absolutely hate it, DNF it, don't want to watch it, don't want to put time and energy into it. So I'm just kind of conflicted about where I'm gonna sit on that kind of scale. So that is it. That is my 10 before the end. Those are all books and series that I'm kind of hoping to get into by the end of the year. They have just been on my radar for the longest time, and I think, like I said, for most of them I'm just kind of intimidated by them in a way. I'm scared because they're so highly rated that I'm just kind of scared, like what if I don't like it, you know what I mean? I don't know, it sounds so silly. Also, the fact that these are all massive series that have like 4, 5, 6, 7 books each is also probably why I'm a little bit intimidated to start them. But if you've read any of them, let me know what you thought. Let me know which ones you think I should read first, which ones you think I'm gonna like the most, which ones you think might be the easiest for me to get into as somebody that's just now starting to get into fantasy, which ones you recommend, which ones you don't. And also, if you have any of these on your TBR, also let me know that down below. And you can also comment what books are on your top 10 or your top 5 or whatever to read by the end of the year, so that I can get more recommendations of maybe some books that I haven't heard of or some books that I haven't considered, and then maybe I can just add them onto my never-ending TBR. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe because I'm posting for bookmas every single day, baby, for the first 12 days of December. Definitely go watch the last bookmas videos that have been posted already, and stay tuned for more daily uploads. I do of course plan on doing reading vlogs and getting my reactions to reading some of these highly anticipated reads. So if you're interested in that kind of content as well, keep an eye out for that because it's going to be coming very soon. And yeah, that's it for me. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!